Hello everyone, welcome back for another tech tip here at 45Drives. Today we're answering a question that we get across a lot of socials, things back in comments, and even just day-to-day conversations with our customers, with people in support. File, block, or object? Which one's the right one to choose for me? Okay, so before we answer the question which one's right for you, you got to have just a quick, go over the quick fundamental differences between each one. Don't worry, we're not going to get into the weeds. So first we'll start with file, right? File is, how do I want to say, comfortable to everyone. We've all used a computer, you've all used a file system. It's that concept of folders and files. Everything's organized in a hierarchical structure, and I said it already, folders and files, it makes sense. Okay, so we see this on our personal local machines, but how does this usually present? Well, you'd have a NAS device somewhere on your network. It would share via a network protocol, whether it's SMB or NFS, and you would have a shared storage, and all your workers could use their shared file server access via files. That's files. It makes sense. We feel comfortable with it. Moving on, shared block devices are not Lego blocks, digital blocks that hold data. No, haha, jokes aside. They're organized literally in little fixed size chunks, or if you will, blocks. The best way to think of a block device is literally think of a think of a hard drive or an SSD or a regular storage device that you would plug into a computer. In the case of a shared block device, it's that same concept, but it's shared over something like iSCSI or Fiber Channel, something that like a traditional SAN would give out, and another computer would attach it as if it was a physical hard drive right there. Now where you would see that show up is usually in like hypervisors, something running virtual machines. They love block storage because it just gets a virtual block device, thinks it looks like a hard drive, and it just goes to work with it. Third, objects. Objects is the kind of newest player on the team. Objects is a massive sea of data that it's organized by its metadata and a unique ID. There's not so much a structure, it's more of a think of sea of data. Where that shows up is up in the cloud. Think S3, think these massive data lakes. That's where you'll see object storage. So obviously these questions come up the most when we're talking about Ceph clusters, because Ceph can do all three, file, block, and object. And then the next question usually is, well, I thought Ceph was a massively scaled object cluster. It is. It's a RADOS cluster. That's how it stores all its objects. But the developers have built three, if you will, like shim layers that allow you to speak either of the protocols or languages or methods, if you will, that we just talked about. So you've got CephFS, that's your shared file system. So they emulate a file system on top of that, and that's your file system access into a Ceph cluster. They have something called an RBD, a RADOS block device. That's their shared block devices, and that's how you get the blocks. And then they have something called the RADOS gateway, which implements the S3 API that Amazon authored. It's kind of become the de facto way that we speak object on the internet. And then all three of those translate behind the scenes to store in the Ceph cluster, but that's how Ceph can do all three. So CephFS, file system, RBD, block, RADOS gateway, S3 objects. Okay, so that's all out of the way now. The real reason we're here, which one do I choose? Well, ask yourself this question first. It's a big answer, but you start with this question. Who's consuming the storage? Is it a human? Is it humans? Is it a shared file server that you need? Do you need people browsing through things and pulling Excel files off stuff? You're going to want a file system. It's where humans feel the most comfortable. It's where the workflow works for them. And it usually doesn't have to get so massive that the metadata slows things down and everything like that. So, humans consuming it, go with file system. Is it a hypervisor? Is it storage for virtual machines? Is it maybe directly into a database? You're going to want to use blocks. Final one, is it an API, programming, or some sort of not humans consuming the storage, robot, if you will? You're going to want to do object. So that's really where you start. That's how you get in your Plinko boxes of which path to go down. If humans are consuming your storage, stick with file. Is it for a hypervisor? Stick with block. Is it API, a website, something that's automating, grabbing everything, not a human, objects. Okay, so there's a quick overview of which should I choose, file, block, or object. Hopefully that gives you a good place to start. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, leave any comments below, reach us on any of our socials. Love to hear from you. So catch you next time.